Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Dungeon Mastered. I'm your host, Dustin. With me once again is Martin.
Hey, everybody.
We have James.
Hello.
And we've got Haley.
Hi, guys.
One more time, we've just finished up a previous session. You heard it last week, but we're going to pick up where we left off. But before we go into that, little housekeeping. We'd like to remind you to go to dungeonmastered.com where you can check out information about the podcast. You can check out any previous episodes from there, download them if you're an Android user and you don't use iTunes. If you're an iOS user, please go to iTunes, subscribe to our podcast, and leave a 5-star review. I've heard that iTunes will allow you to leave smaller stars, like 4 stars. I wouldn't risk it. That may be the only stars you ever get, so you should always shoot for 5. But please review and subscribe to the podcast. Check us out on Facebook. Dungeon Mastered is the page. Or look us up on Twitter at Dungeon Mastered. So where we left off last time, we had just gotten into a fight in an inn. I personally kicked a lot of faces with my monk. And we are now on our way out the back door, trying to get out of the city and head west. So let's pick it up from there, Martin.
All right, everybody. So, Everdusk has fallen, and for those listening, Everdusk is just a time of darkness before full dusk. If you can compare it to anything, it's going to be like a solar eclipse. Okay, this is when the sun gets shaded out, and it's just a level of darkness, something where you couldn't read by, but you could kind of see. This will last for, they say, 1 or 2 bells. It's usually about 45 minutes to an hour, maybe an hour and a half in our time, but just a couple bells for them. Right now, everybody is out back. In between the stables and the inn itself. Again, the inn that they're in is the the Stern and Port. Given that this is Ferry's Way, which is right on the river, they have multiple areas where lots of ferries are able to travel and move people across to different parts of towns and mostly for commerce. Now, the main objective, since we left off, everybody encountered some guards. Our monk, Bronson, had a startling discovery of seeing almost the green girl, the half-orc little maiden named Maddie. This really stirred up a lot of emotion and almost consternation to the point that he remembers these legends and these tales from his master, Maddox. And this is almost troubling in a way because he can feel immediately that the balance is no longer going to be secured in the world. Now, then you also have Roland, whose greatest friend, who showed him the ropes and showed him the way, had been kidnapped. He was informed of that by Finn, the innkeeper. And Finn, who has basically saving everybody's bacon, has went back inside the inn to hold off the guards as much as possible. And everybody now has the opportunity to move out from the inn in this time of dusk. However, because everybody was informed before, there is a curfew. So you have to be wary of the guards. There's a guard posted on every end of the bridge and a tower. And so there is the west bridge that goes to the island. So there will be 2 sets of guards on either side up in the towers. There will also be 2 sets of guards on the southeast of the island and the southwest, which is the main road, the King's Road to the west. There's a main road that goes south, but he told you to figure it out, you must go west.
All right, so it looks like our real only option here is to, looking at the map, we've got to go across the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think everybody can scale a wall, so I'm going to look at the other 2 and I say, we need to leave. We must go Just will you follow me?
If you can find Karn, I'll follow you.
Sure.
All right, so we'll head south and west a bit to go across the bridge. I'll suggest that we be as nonchalant as possible, although did you say the bells have already rang?
The bells have rung. It is even dusk right now. Everybody was having their even dusk meal. So there's probably one more bell before it's full dusk. And the sun is it's all the way down. So it's going to go from a very gray look to a very dark blackness.
Yeah, okay. Well, I suggest that we head just south a bit and then go across the bridge and then try to go out the west gate. I mean, I don't...
Yep, that's the only path that's
I'm not-
available, unless somebody has a rope with a harpoon and that anybody wants to scale a 30-foot wall. No? Okay. So everybody's going to make their way outside the back alleys and just move themselves down and away from the commotion that's going on inside. You can hear Finn inside just yelling and screaming to the top of his lungs, trying to just work, something out amongst all of these, just these guards that have come in. Now, again, you're going to have two guards posted up on either side of the towers, right on the bridge. Having dealt with this before, you have a great asset in Roland who understands that when the next bell tolls, there's going to be a changing of the guard. He's done this before, and one of the great abilities, which I'll let him speak of, has to do with his background. Roland, would you like to tell us about your background?
Well, I have expertise in thieves' tools and in stealth, so I have a +7 to stealth. I can definitely sneak up and hopefully take care of that. I also have city secrets, which I can move at double speed through cities while not in combat.
Does that include your party members?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So where you're having to traverse, let's say, about 300 plus feet from this point, this is going to actually generate a great opportunity to not only use your skill, but also everybody's skill in a skills challenge.
Yeah.
So, of course, everybody's going to have an opportunity to go. For those of you that are not aware, don't know about Skills Challenge, these do come from a previous edition where everybody's going to have an opportunity to utilize their skills with the party to try and escape this area. They're going to try and evade guards. They're going to try and evade ongoers. They might even try to evade something dangerous. So let's go ahead and start the Skills Challenge. Let's roll an initiative, everybody. The Skills Challenge will take place in 5 skills. We will have to have 3 skills to pass. You will have a set difficulty that I've already set. And so let's get started with the initiative.
Okay, well, I rolled. Total, it will be a 15.
Are we taking into consideration our initiative bonus?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then I have a 14 plus 3, so that is a 17.
I have an 8 plus 1, which is a 9.
Okay.
So I'm last.
That's okay. All right, James. So since this really, and this works out well since this is your primary ability and trait as a rogue, and not only that, but the ability to move swiftly through this town that you know, you're going to start off with your first skill. Now, for anybody that hasn't done this before, you will take a specific skill. This is a house rule. It's kind of ripped off from somebody else, and I like it, so we're going to use it. The party cannot use the same skill twice, okay? And you have to also describe what you're doing with that skill.
All right, I'm going to roll for stealth, and I am going to stealthily, at double speed, move to the guards and see if I can slink past them.
Okay.
That is a 9 plus 7, so that is a 16.
Okay. Yep. You're able to do that, and once you're able to slink past that first set of guards, you're able to pick out exactly where they're at, and able to just pick the right moment to wave on, the rest of your companions. Granted, the second bell hasn't completely tolled, and so there is still enough light that Bronson's able to see you, and of course, Maddie's able to kind of see you as well with her dark vision.
All right, I'm going to wait until the coast is clear, then wave them on.
Okay. The second bell is about to toll. They've decided to go ahead and start changing a little bit early, so you can go ahead and wave them on.
All right.
Okay, well, let's see. I'll do an acrobatics check. I'm going to run and backflip like a son of a gun all the way through to where Roland is.
So much stealth.
That's an 11 plus 6, so 17.
Yep, that'll do it. So you get your gymnastics on, and you just... And everybody with those sound effects are just multiple backflips and handsprings. So now that you're across as well, both of you made it across that first bridge, and now you're signaling over to Maddie. And, both of you are a little nervous because you realize how young she is by actually being up close and personal with her. But, you have confidence that she's going to be able to do something. So, Maddie?
I'm going to use athletics to just sprint as fast as I can. I got an 18 plus 2, 20. So.
Okay. So, yeah. So, she's booking it across. She's not necessarily trying to be stealthy by any means. But she's moving it. She's moving it across, and she pretty much, as soon as she gets to the other side, Bronson just kind of, grabs her and pulls her off to the side into the darkness right behind Roland just to keep safe where they're at. And now, given the situation, you're back into the market area, which Roland you saw previously, and Bronson, you also just came through here earlier that day, so you see a lot of those same shops and little stands and everything are really closed up now, and it's eerily quiet except for the changing of the guards, and you're starting to see a lot more torches that are being lit at those outposts. So it's going to be a little bit harder for those guards to be able to see you.
All right. I'm going to see if I can approach the last set of guards and use my deception skill to convince them that I really need to get out of there, and just say, you know what? It's better to let this guy be on the outside than the inside.
Now, did we pass the skills challenge?
You did pass the skills challenge.
Okay.
So you're good to go. But however, this is something that I like to incorporate. I've done it before. A bonus to the skills challenge, which gives you an inspiration point. So if you're able to get all 5, then one person in the group gets an inspiration point.
Okay, let's go for 5. I like my deception. I want to convince them that I need to be out of here.
So you want to approach one of the guards.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, yes. Rolled a 12. And perception or deception is actually +4, so that's a 16.
Okay. And we're aware of what that does, right?
Yes.
Okay. So James is going to move to the main entrance, which is firmly shut at this moment. I assume that both Bronson and Maddie are going to hang back a little bit.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
For everybody out there, I'm sorry if this isn't a long one. My deepest apologies.
I tend to play the village idiot, so give me a break.
So you rolled a 12.
+4 is 16.
Okay. So the guard is wondering what you're doing out during curfew. And don't you know that everybody's supposed to be indoors?
Yes, but I have very urgent business that I must be on the road for, and you must let me out or I will have your job.
He says, absolutely not. And, sir, you're going to have to come with me immediately. And so he starts making towards you, and he's moving directly towards you. And the guard to his right on the other side is also moving directly towards you. I'm going to say we didn't get the bonus inspiration on this one.
Wop, 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 wop.
Sorry, guys.
And now everybody can roll initiative. Bum, 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 bum.
Well, that's okay. My answer was to kick.
Okay, so Haley's going first.
Easily.
All right, so I got a 5 plus 4, so that's a 9 for me.
Haley rolled a natural 20 plus her 1, and I rolled a natural 1 plus my 3.
So we've got a 9, a 4.
And a 21.
21.
Good job.
All right, so this one's going to go Haley, guards, Dustin, then James, or Maddie, guards, and then Bronson and Roland. All right, Haley. So right now there are going to be 2 guards set up. We're going to use probably the same guards that we did last time, which is going to be another Haley. All right, so now that we've got the battle map set up, let's go ahead and start combat. I do believe, Haley, you were first, so you have a chance where you can move. What is your movement speed?
30.
30 feet?
Yes, sorry.
So that means you'll be able to move 6 squares. So the closest you could move right now would probably be next to Roland or right behind him. Okay, Bronson. Well, actually, this is Bronson's next. Actually, this is time for the guards to attack. I'm so excited that I actually get to go a little bit earlier. And they're going to attack James, the first guard for now. So that's going to be 2 damage from the first guard. And the second guard, misses almost critically bad. He's going to actually move up 1 space to kind of surround you, Roland. Now, Maddie, because of that movement of the guard, you're going to get an attack of opportunity.
I got a 2.
That is
Plus 6.
not going to hit.
2
Sorry.
plus 6 is 8.
It was a good try, but that was not going to hit. All right. So now we're down to Bronson.
All right. Let's see. If I were to move straight down at half speed, in the process, with the other half of my action, could I yank a dart from my belt?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can. That's almost what I guess what they call it, just interaction. Whether you're interacting with an object, you have the ability to pull a dart. Now, you wouldn't be able to pull 5 or start pulling out.
Right.
But you can actually do your full move or however move you want to and pull out your dart.
Okay. Well, I would like to go ahead and throw the dart.
Okay.
And then complete the move. So I'll go ahead and throw. That's a 9 plus 4, so 13.
Nope, that will not hit. These guys are pretty armored up for being the guards.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and finish my move to try to get as close to the one beside Maddie as possible.
Right there. Okay. So he is right. Let's see. Let's put you right behind Maddie. That'll allow that. Okay. Now, Roland, that's going to be your turn.
All right. The guard I was talking to initially, I'm going to stab at him. An 8 plus 5 is 13.
Nope. That's going to be a miss.
Man.
All right. So the guards are... So Maddie's going to be able to take her turn now since she's at the top of the round. Maddie, you can actually move directly in front of that guard if you want to. It won't provoke an attack of opportunity because you're already within range. So would you like to move? And then that'll kind of clear a path for Bronson.
Yes, please.
Okay. So that's a single move, and you can take your action.
That is a 5 plus 6 is...
Nope. Afraid
Nope.
these are a little tough today.
Oh, goodness.
It's all right. I got something for him.
Does it involve feet?
It does.
Stinky feet.
Smelly feet. James, will a 13 hit you?
No, it will not.
All right. And Haley, will a 9 hit you?
No, it won't.
All right. That turn is over. Bronson?
I'm going to go ahead and move on into range. I'm going to attack the one that is attacking Maddie.
Okay.
Now, I didn't declare this before, so I'll let this be up to your discretion. In the bio for my character, he kind of uses his quarterstaff as a walking stick.
Okay, that's
So-
fine.
Is okay. All right.
I'm gonna anything that your character would normally do. You're more than likely going to be able to do. If while he's sitting there talking to those guards, I'm going to presume that both of you are getting ready
All
in
right.
case something bad happens.
All right. Well, then I'm going to attack with my quarterstaff. And did I move? Yeah, I
You did
moved.
just one.
Okay.
Just
Well, then,
one.
all right. Yeah, I'm just going to attack with a quarterstaff. I'm going to miss with that quarterstaff. That was a 3. So, yeah, that's it.
All right, James.
All right.
Mr. Roland the Rat.
The rat's going to try and bite the guard. 20.
Bam.
Natural.
All right.
Nom, nom, nom.
For those of you at home, that means he gets a double damage.
So do I
Double dice.
automatically get 6? Or is 2 dice
You
6?
roll a 2 die 6. So if your weapon does a 1d6, you're going to get a 2 die 6.
6 and 4 is 10, plus my 3 is 13.
Boom. And that guard is down and for the count, which is a good thing because there's another guard wondering what all the commotion is. So you want to wrap this up as quickly as possible. Okay, Maddie, you're up next.
Okay. I rolled a 4 plus 6 is 10.
Nope, I'm afraid that's not going to hit on that one.
Is it my turn?
It is your turn, Bronson.
I'm going to attack with my quarterstaff and then follow that with a swift kick to the bum. I'm going to miss with said quarterstaff once again. And then with my follow-up attack, I'm going to equally miss.
All right. We're going to go ahead and follow up with the guard on this one. We accidentally... He's just too slow, so it's okay. He's going to attack Haley again. Is a 12 going to hit?
It will.
Oh, man. All right, that's going to be 2 damage. So
Okay.
make sure you're recording where you're at now.
All right.
Mr. Roland.
I'm going to stabby for a 9 plus 5 is 14.
Now, let's also be aware of what your abilities give you, too.
Ooh, I could do a sneak attack. couldn't
This is
I?
correct.
Okay. Can I do a sneak attack on top of my attack? Or do I have to hit first?
You do have to hit.
Okay, so will a 14 hit?
A 14, unfortunately, will not hit.
Then I don't hit.
All right, man. It was good though. We had to make sure we're practicing what our capabilities are. All right, Maddie.
Now, did you roll twice?
Ooh, I
Because-
did not.
On this, you're attacking someone who is attacking someone else, so you have advantage.
Let me try that again. A 16 plus 5 is
That will
21.
hit.
So my sneak attack is 1d6 on top of my damage?
You'll get the sneak attack plus your regular damage.
Okay. That is 3 plus 5 is 8. And if we're adding in the attack bonus, that
Yep.
is 11.
All right. That wipes that one out. So now I would recommend that we book it out of here, everybody.
So the gate is closed.
The gate is closed, but it's all you have to do is pull up a board and move it aside. It's not something that's super heavy.
All right. I vote that we do that.
Can you use your feet?
Yeah. All right.
By
Yeah.
all means, if you'd like to Use a
Stinky
feet.
feet.
I'll just pick it up this time, but
Please.
I'll kick it in when I come back.
So everybody is able to actually move out of the town, and you hear masses amounts of screams and yells coming from behind, and it's pretty severe. In fact, the whole town is in an uproar. This is something they haven't experienced since they can far back remember, because the curfew has always been in effect, and now you have 3 people outside of a town during dusk.
Well, let's book it down this road, guys.
So you've moved out away from the town, and you're just heading straight west. And you're on this old road. It's got some cobbles in it. You can tell there's grass overgrowing all kinds of sections. So in the dark, you're having a pretty hard time. Bronson's kind of looking at the area and, just thinking it's probably a good idea to maybe hunker down for the night and maybe get to know each other a little bit, have a quick discussion, plan out your next moves, and kind of just figure out what just happened. What in the world is going on? So out on the road, where the Shadow Forest is. It's it's a good way away. Nobody's really comfortable coming up to it quite yet. Does anybody have the ability to start a fire?
I have survival. Does that count? Does that work?
That would count.
Okay.
So do me a favor and roll a survival check.
I got a 12 plus 2, so 14.
Okay. That'll be just fine to be able to start a fire. So you're all able to start a fire and kind of hunker down. You decide it's probably best if we move off the beaten path just a little bit. For some reason, it unnerves everybody to be out in the open right now. Everybody's kind of getting that feeling that there are eyes on them. It's just a bit eerie, and no real rhyme or reason why you feel that way. This is an area that is pretty new to everybody. This is an area that Bronson has heard of, and because this is an area where a large town, and it's called Kingsland for a reason. It's called Kingsland because there were several kings that came out of this one town. And in legends, they were simple commoners, normal people, but they did something extravagant, which was to push back all the great evils of the world. And through all that, them not being in that town, it was swallowed up by the Shadow Forest. So we've got the fire and everybody's sitting down, and Bronson, being of relatively few words, feels compelled to actually come out a little bit and discuss some of these matters. One specifically is the key. The key is something that's been lost to legend. Hopefully it was something that would never be found, because that meant that the Fallen were breaking out of their prisons. And Bronson goes into further detail that there was actually 8 of the Fallen. There were 8 of the Fallen, and then there were 8 kings and queens. These 8 Fallen followed their dark master because they felt that his punishment was just too much. It was too harsh, and he was cast out of the world. And so because it was too harsh, they decided to create great havoc across the world. Now, with this specific time, you're going to be going into an area that is going to be scary. And Bronson tries not to convey his own doubts of the quest that you've been set upon, but he knows that the first thing that must be done is the key has to be found. And that's because Maddie, unknowingly, just trying to cut her mother's corpse out of the twining tree, the key tree, it unlocked the first set of doors. And nothing has been released yet, but you can feel everything has been changing. Bronson also relays that, that key that she has around her neck is incomplete. There's something else that's missing. He's not sure what it is, but he decides that he wants to take a look at it a little bit further. Is that okay, Maddie, if Bronson can take a look?
Yeah, of course.
So Bronson takes a look, and he can feel on the different sections, that this is incomplete. This is a half circle, but for some reason this is incomplete. So they have to find something else to complete this piece, and this key is going to be yes.
Oh, you can finish. I was just going
Sorry.
to ask a question.
This key is specifically going to be put in place so that way they can unlock a secret door, a secret cavern.
Now, while all this is going on, while we're talking about all this, can we call that a short rest? Or
Yes.
okay,
Yeah, we're going to call this immediately a short rest unless the group decides to go ahead and try and either sleep through the night or to kind of pursue on.
at some point, I think that we should sleep, and before I can't see anything once we move away from our fire. So
I can keep first watch for a long rest. I can do a couple hours.
okay, I'll take the second watch, and so yeah, we'll do a long rest then.
Okay. So after Bronson kind of concludes his discussion of, what his master Maddox had told him about the key, about these fallen, and why this force was in place, this force was to imprison all of those fallen. And just specific ones, not all of them entirely, because some of them might still be out in the world, according to legend. But the worst of the worst have been imprisoned here. And right now, they might be able to get loose at some point. He also remembers those words that be careful of how long you spend here. So when you go into that forest, beware of the time that you spend. And you're mindful of it being out on the road right now. So, Roland, you're going to take first watch?
I will. I'm going to use stealth to stay off to the side, so hopefully remain hidden and keep watch for a few hours.
Okay, you kind of get off to the side. Would you like to be closest to the road, or would you like to stay encamped away from the road?
Actually, where I'm at, between the road and the group, I would probably stay there.
Okay. What is your perception?
Perception, passive or rolling?
You're passive.
Passive perception is 13.
Okay. You get a strange feeling. You immediately look west. You're sure it's west. It's not because of the road, because you can't even see it. But for some reason, you have this just daunting feeling that there's something out there. You don't size, whatever it is, you could just feel it. It's ominous and it's kind of oppressive. You look over your group as well, and you kind of see that, they're not sleeping well. They're not, they're kind of restless. They're turning, and just even being this close to where you are, everybody's kind of restless. You don't hear anything else throughout the night. You don't see anything else, and your watch is over, and then Bronson's up.
Okay. I'll park myself beside the fire.
Okay.
That's really the only place I'm going to be able to see. And I'll just, cross leg, sit down, and just kind of listen and, keep an ear and an eye open.
What's your perception, passive perception?
It's 13.
13. You get that same feeling. It's ominous. It feels like it's hovering. You look at the fire, and you don't feel like it's as bright as it should be, even where you're at. So it's just one of those just oppressive feelings where you feel the world is just kind of shouldering on top of you, and the dark is just coming closer and closer. You don't have any other events throughout the night, and then Maddie's able to take her next turn. You're only up for about a couple hours. You're not really feeling anything negative or oppressive, and morning comes, and you feel a great sense of relief knowing that it came. So morning's here. We put out the fire. Everybody's stretching. It's kind of groggy. Everybody's still trying to really, think, golly, did that happen last night? Bronson's sitting there, thinking, I wanted adventure and I wanted these things, and I come into a town not expecting much, and I'm not here a full day, and I'm, all this craziness is happening, and these legends are coming about that I still have to do my own research and mental thinking about before I can figure it all out. There's a green girl of some kind of race. I'm not sure. She looks humanish, but I can't really tell. And then there's this rogue with me as well, Roland, and he's lost somebody. So there's a lot of adventure happening, and everybody's kind of feeling it right off the bat, and they're not quite sure they're prepared. But the good thing is everybody's got the direction they want to go. So you're on the King's Road, and you've got a few miles ahead of you before you get to this shadow forest. There's a semi-curved road that you can fully take. That's on the other end of that is going to be the shadow forest. You can't see across it because there's woods that are obscuring it, but you are able to go ahead and continue around the bend. Does anybody want to look for anything as they're going? Is anybody searching?
Do you think we would need to look for tracks or anything of people?
Okay, so you do. You look around on these cobbles, and there is grass overgrown. You do kind of see something. Roll me a d20. This will be a survival check.
14 plus 2, so 16.
Okay, actually, you do see kind of tracks. In fact, these are kind of barefoot tracks. But they get a little strange because though they're barefoot tracks, all of a sudden they're paw prints. So they go from a humanoid type of footprint to paw prints immediately. But you venture on, not really noticing much of anything else, but you do kind of sense that these were a little fresh. If anything, they might have been just the other night. And you'll move on through the day, and everybody's kind of gets lost in their thoughts as they move on. And nobody really notices much of anything through the pass. So everybody makes it around all the way to the other side with really no notice. And you see that shadow forest ahead of you. And it's looming, and it's dangerous. You can feel it. If there was a gas or a miasma coming out of it that was just doom, you feel that's where it would come from.
Well, that seems like that's where we need to go.
Agree.
As you start moving forward and getting to that farther edge, somebody actually comes out. And she's a woman. She's all dressed in furs. Beautiful brown hairs, twigs, all up in a bun, and she's got different furs hanging off of her, things like that. And Maddie immediately is like, I wonder if that's who left the footprints. And she introduces herself straight to you. She says, my name's Jane, and I am Jane Highflyer. Who are you? And why are you here at the entrance of the Shadow Forest?
I'd nod my head respectfully and address her and say, I am Bronson Bedrosian from the Temple Tavern, and these are my traveling companions. This is Roland, and this young lady is Maddie.
Sweet child, it's a strange thing to see your kind on this side of the Shadow Forest.
What do you mean?
I think this is something that we'll talk about another day if I see you again. But your kind on this side of the Shadow Forest brings real bad things. It brings things that we were hoping was long forgotten. I can see that both you and your friend have lost somebody. But Bronson, what brings you out?
I just nod my head respectfully and say, I follow the footsteps of my master Maddox, the Grand Master of the Temple Tavern, and I seek his wisdom in the world. And I heed his words when he told me to find the key.
Oh, those are things that we don't even wish to speak or think of anymore. If it's time for the keys, and you notice that she says keys, and that's something that tickles your brain because you've always heard key, but she says keys, and she says it with full confidence. She says, when we've talked about the keys, that was long ago. If that is the time, then many of us must ready ourselves. I can only do one thing for you before you step into those woods, because I do feel now that you must go into that forest, and you must go into this journey. Knowing that she's here, knowing that she probably has something specific on her that of importance, I will give you one thing, one token. And a little bitty sparrow flutters out of the woods onto her shoulder, and she whispers something in its ear. And he flaps his little tail, and then he hops onto your shoulder. Yes, Maddie, hops onto your shoulder. And so now you actually have this bird, this familiar. And Jane warns you, she says, this sparrow, who is a major sacrifice to me to let go and to allow to go into these woods, will not guide you, will not keep you from harm, but it can warn you of danger. When this sparrow takes flight, follow as quickly as you can, because the sparrow might be the only thing that leads you out of danger. If you are caught off of the path, be careful. You might not find it again. But trust the sparrow. It could be anything, it's just shimmying up a tree, or it could be digging a hole, or it could be running for your lives. I don't know. I have not been in these woods in millennia, for it's been forbidden for my kind for that whole time. Go forth now and venture through, but heed that sparrow. She'll take care of you.
Okay.
And she drifts off she just melts into the woods. It just seems like the forest just engulfs her, and she's gone.
So wait, none of us get sparrows, but only Maddie?
Well, follow me then. I'm the sparrow now.
So you have a clear path directly into the Shadow Forest, and you're there, and it's big trees. You can tell just from where you're at, it's dark inside. It's like even dusk is what it is. There's kind of a glow underneath the branches of these really high trees, but for the most part, there's no daylight coming through. Even from the very front where those trees start, there is no light shining past those trunks of those trees. And they are a gray, stone-like color. Very, very, very gray and ashy looking.
Okay, well, which direction do you think we should go?
Well, I guess we're going into the forest, following the bird.
Bird's not going anywhere yet.
The bird's the word.
Now, and the bird dances around. The bird likes to fly a little bit, but it's very drawn to Maddie, and it keeps, unfortunately, perching on her shoulder from time to time, jumping back and forth, and Maddie's not used to that quite yet. So you'll jump a little bit now and then for a little while, but you'll get used to it.
Okay, well, then west it is. Let's go.
Onward and upward. All right, so now that you've ventured forward into the Shadow Forest, you can feel it now. That whole feeling you felt far away, it just pretty much climaxed to the point where you feel a strong, heavy pack almost on your shoulders. You're in the entrance of it, and you're making your way forward, and it's not easy to see. It's pretty dank, it's pretty dark, but you continuously move forward. You come to a crossroads where you see a bit of a northerly path, which is kind of tempting. In fact, for some reason, it seems like it had been used not too long ago, and it had actually been dug through pretty well. And you have the option of possibly going north or going southwest.
Okay, well, I say that we take a moment and just look around to see, to examine this a little bit better so that we can find which way to go. I want to kind of, I guess, investigate the northern path a little bit.
Okay.
To see if I can discern any other details, about what's going on out there.
Well, you can tell just from approaching that path a little closer that this path has been heavily used more so than the one you're on. In fact, it's going almost northeast to southwest as in the predominant path, whereas the path you walked on is very overgrown. So you really have a feeling like you're on this little back alley kind of path and you're coming to a main road, which is kind of strange because nothing should really be used in here at all, according to what Jane had told you earlier. Some of the things that you'll notice are some heavy tracks. There's a lot of cobble and road, and you can see a lot of indentions on the track, so it looks like even maybe possibly wagons were towed through this area.
Well, Finn did tell us to go west, so we could take southwest and continue going in a westerly direction.
That's probably the best thing to do.
Yep. Everybody roll a perception check.
3 plus
12.
3 is 6.
So 6, so 12 plus
12 plus 1 is 13.
13.
Yeah, it was 4.
We're very astute people.
You hear a rustling across the way into a set of those large trees, and I mean it's a heavy rustling. If you could imagine, orangutans up in a big tree shaking. I mean something's in that section of the woods, causing a pretty large disturbance. You don't see anything, but something's watching.
Okay. I would like to go ahead and ready just one dart in one hand.
Okay.
Got my quarterstaff in the other. And I'll suggest that we begin moving southwest, but let's continue to watch that section of trees that we see that coming from.
And I think that's a smart action. I'm actually going to ready my short bow and have that ready with the arrow nocked but not drawn as we move southwest.
Just in case, I'm going to have my greatsword out so we can have range and melee at the same time.
Okay. And that's an excellent notion because, like you were told before, there are things in these woods, things that hadn't been seen in a long time. And that rustling's coming louder and louder, and it makes its appearance. It's a giant spider. Dun-dun-dun.
Ew, spiders. Ooh, that is a large spider icon.
This is a large spider, and kind of the scary thing about this spider is this spider actually speaks common, and it says, "Why are you in these woods?"
We're just trying to make it west. Why are you in these woods?
And it just gets really angry with just how rude Roland the rat is. And it says, "I smelled you since you came in. I live in these woods."
Good for you. We're just trying to make it west.
I'll say, I'll say forcefully. I'll just tell it, stand aside and let us pass. And nothing will happen. We will leave you alone.
You naked, big, ugly spider.
And combat.
And then the spider sees Maddie, and it says, "You're on the wrong side, girl."
Yeah, we're going to fight it at one point, so.
So you want to fight it?
Yeah.
That's
That's
her
fight.
orc side.
That is
Yeah.
your orc side. It says it's okay. You'll taste just as good as one of your kins. And everybody roll initiative. I got a 20.
In combat.
11 plus 3 is 14.
4 plus 1 is 5.
8 plus 4 is 12. Yay.
Math.
Why do we need it?
The more you know.
The less you grow.
Y'all are ridiculous. I'm just going to tell you that.
Well, that's all right.
All right, so the spider's going to move directly in and come right next to Maddie.
I have an opportunity, or what is it called?
Yep. You're going to have an attack of opportunity on this spider, as well as Roland, for being in the same vicinity. Since this is and for everybody that's not there, giant spider is a large creature. So as a large creature, they're going to take out 4 squares.
So the spider moved, and we're getting attacks of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
Nice. So Maddie rolled a 8 plus 6. So you got a 14?
Mm-hmm.
All right, here's mine. I got a nat 20.
All right. Well, a 14 will absolutely hit.
go ahead and roll damage, Maddie.
I got a 3 and a 5
So
Okay.
8
plus 4.
12.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Okay, James.
All right, so I had my short bow out. I guess since it came towards me, I would have taken my short sword out to stabby.
Probably.
Okay.
I'll allow it.
You'll allow it? Thank you. I will, with my nat 20, attack with my short sword. I got a 3 and a 5, so that's 8 plus 3 is 11.
That's a pretty good way to start a fight. With 23 points of damage.
I'm a very blunt person, so I just like to just go through and just get to the end.
How many hit points does it have?
Mm,
Who knows?
a bunch.
No.
It's a mystery.
All right, now the spider is going to attack. 12 hit, James.
No, I have a 14 AC.
That's not good. It's kind of mad at you since you did more of the damage on that one. Okay, that's going to be the spider's turn. The spider went for its one specific attack, and now everybody else will go based off of their turn.
So it was James next, and then me, and then Maddie.
That's correct.
I rolled a 17 plus 3 is 20.
That'll hit.
Actually, it's plus 5, so that would have been a 22, but anyway. I don't know why I rolled 2 dice, but both were 6s, so it works out. So I did 6 damage.
6
All right.
plus.
Oh, 6 plus 3 is actually 9. Thank you.
Nice. I'm glad you rolled that Q.
I know that I got a Q and a 6. It's amazing.
Also known as 6.
Q known as, is that Roman numeral? I don't think Q
That's
is
not.
6.
Any kind of
No.
numeral.
All right. So it's
Let's
my
go.
turn now?
Yep.
I don't know why I rolled since I'm not in range.
You would like to move?
I would like to move into range and bicycle kick this bad boy.
Okay.
Like Liu King. 17 plus 4 is a 21.
That'll hit. Goodness gracious, go.
So that's with my quarterstaff. 1d6 plus 4. 5 plus 4 is 9.
Yep.
And that's it. No bonus attack.
And the spider just kind of caves in a little bit on itself, and it says, turn back, you won't get any more warnings. There's nothing but death coming. Turn back. And it just kind of crumples down, and then you just see thousands of little baby spiders just coming at it. I mean, it's completely gross. Roland can go stomp on him, do whatever he wants to do.
Yes.
You're just horrible,
dream.
horrible person. So the spider goes down, and everybody kind of gets a feeling. It's like, I know the spider's not supposed to, be the be all to end all on this, but for some reason I feel like it rings truth. Now we're going to go ahead and continue west on.
Yep.
Is everybody good with that?
Yeah. I'm going to wipe my feet in the dirt and we'll continue westward.
Nice and sticky.
Bicycle ticket.
Everybody moves and walks clear of the spider. Be careful just because of all the venom that it still has.
Can I dip my short sword in that to get a plus to poison?
No, you cannot unless you have a poisoner's kit.
Darn.
And I don't believe you have that. You make your way on for what feels several hours, almost. It's just, you feel like you've been walking forever. It doesn't even seem like the path has changed much. You still get the feeling, as it gets later in the day, even though you can't tell. Again, there's just this glow underneath the branches, and it just seems kind of like, even dust the whole time. You can still see, even as humans, you can still see. And before you realize it, you're kind of stumbling, you right into this village, and it is just decrepit. The buildings are falling apart. What you fully thought was probably a beautiful village at one time is just decaying in front of you. Just rusting, shingles broken, seeing into some of these buildings that are almost skeletal. So you even look right in the center and see this beautiful, little bath and fountain and everything that at one time probably had laughing children running around it. Now just seems like it would just flow with poison. It's just a horrible place, and it just doesn't feel right. And this you can feel right off the bat is where you were supposed to be. This is Kingstown. This is the Kingsland that you were supposed to be. And this is where your road goes.
Okay. Since we are right at an hour, I feel like this is a good stopping point for this week. We'll come back next week. We'll pick up now that we are in the town we're supposed to be at, and we'll take a look around, see what we find. But for now, I am your host, Dustin. Martin, James, Haley, for another episode of Dungeon Mastered. We will see you next week.